By using the term dummies, I by no means am implying that you are a dummy. I am using it within the context of satire, humor, and kid-friendliness. I am certain that you are a human being with capability, potential, and intelligence. If you are offended by my use of the word dummy, I apologize in advance.
Hey! What's up, guys? HipHughes History. We're going to do a lecture for you right now. But how to write an essay, and specifically how to write what's called in New York State a DBQ essay, or a document-based question essay. But in other states they give you the same types of essays. Even on the AP exam they give you kind of all of these resources, and then they ask you to write an essay about it. So whether you're in New York State doing a Regents, or you're working on other types of papers or essays that deal with primary resource and documentation, this is the right video lecture for you. No fancy green screen. No special effects, just me yelling at you. 5 things to help you pass your exam writing a DBQ essay. Number one, guys, it's not a DBQ essay about documents. I ask this question to my kids every year. What is a DBQ essay about? And the kid goes, documents. And I go, oh, you're wrong. It's an essay about history, guys. It's an essay about the task. We're going to call it a peanut butter and jelly essay. And what that means is that half of the essay, or maybe even the majority of the essay, is about the document's information. It's about the citations and the facts that you use, the quotes that you explain, the peanut butter that they give you the jar of. How you spread that peanut butter on depends on how well you do it, the grade you're going to get, but nevertheless, that's the peanut butter part of the essay. And then we'll talk a little bit about jelly. About the outside information, about what you bring to the table, the facts, the thematic ideas, the thesis, the themes that you bring into the exam. But using that peanut butter and that jelly is how you write that essay. But the essay is by no means about the peanut butter. It's not about, in document 1, I read about document 1, and I'm going to tell you what I read about document 1. Whew. That's a bad grade right there. So get it in your thick skulls, kiddies. It's not about the documents. Say it out loud. It's not about the documents. Dots or die. I'm serious. Dots or die trying. On the state exams in New York, they have little dots and they'll tell you what to do. Discuss 2 groups and dot, and discuss the conflict they had with other groups, and I don't care what it says. I need you to do those dots or die trying. On the rubric and how we grade in New York, and I'm sure in most states, you are given credit for attempting all of the dots. So it's kind of like going to the carnival and they give you 3 balls and you have to knock the puppets down, right? And you take the first one and you miss, and you take the second one and maybe you knock one down, and then you go, I don't know how to throw the third one, so I'll just walk away. You would never do that. You would never do that. You would throw the damn ball. So whatever the dot says, you need to write something about that dot. If the dot says, for instance, I think we're getting out of focus. Ooh. If the dot says, for instance, why'd the monkey climb up the tree? You need to write, let's take a look at why the monkey climbed up the tree. Perhaps it was because he was hungry. On the rubric, seriously, all right? Right in the New York State, in the category of a 3, which is a mediocre essay at best, it says student addresses all dots in a limited way, tasks in a limited way. So dots or die trying. If you skip a dot, it's a dumb thing to do, and you should fail, and you're going to live a miserable life. I'm just joking. You'll pass it next time. But right now, dots or die trying. Peanut butter and jelly, dots or die trying. Peanut butter, specifically about the peanut butter, guys, about how to use those documents, all right? We've already said it's a peanut butter and jelly essay, but when you are going to use a document, I need you to do 3 things. I need you to cite the document. I need you to say the name of the document, the primary resource name. According to document number 1, the Treaty of Versailles, we can clearly see. You need to cite the documents. That's what historians do. You bring it up and you go, this is the document I'm talking about, this is the name of the document, year it came from, the title of it, whatever. And then I need you to pick a strong quote. Or a strong feature in the cartoon, or a statistic in the data chart. And I need you to state that because it relates to the answer. So looking at why the conflict started, we can clearly see when Adolf Hitler says in Mein Kampf, yada, 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 yada. Using the quote means you need to explain it. So for every document, the peanut butter side of things, you have 3 sentences at a minimum. Number one, you are introducing the peanut butter. Number two, you are specifically saying something like a quotation, and then you got to follow it up by explaining. Perhaps what he meant was, those three things are going to be the peanut butter part of the equation. And right away, if you know you need to use, let's say, 3/4 of the documents, I'll let you skip 1, maybe 2 documents, but you should use most of those documents, at least more than half, otherwise you're a dead duck. But automatically, if there's 10 documents, you use 7 documents, you have 21 sentences just for the peanut butter. I'm telling you, man, this is the way to do it, all right? Peanut butter and jelly. Let's look at the jelly. Where attention goes, energy flows. I like saying that, guys. The jelly. Okay. How to use the outside information. And this is tough if you don't know the history and you're really, weak on memorizing facts and things like that. But OI or die TRYIN, guys. If you do not have jelly, if you do not have clear-cut examples of outside information, you're gonna get a 2. It doesn't matter what you do, you will get a 2. PU. I'm like a hip-hop master. So what I need you to do is this. For each document, when you're answering the questions that go with that document, they don't do that in AP, but on the Regents, they'll give you a leading question. I need you to sit, close your eyes, and go to a place and brainstorm. Find some type of relationship to that document. Maybe you go back to the multiple choice if you have to, or maybe you come up with a concrete example from another course or from a science idea, or hopefully from an historical idea. And I want you to write that on the side of the document, because I know what you do. When you do the peanut butter, you take the document out and you're manipulating it, you're quoting it, you're using it. And if you have the jelly on the side of the document, they go together. So you can follow up your citation and explanation with the relatable outside information. So for instance, if I'm doing, I don't know, the 14 points, or the League of Nations, the Treaty of Versailles idea, and I have that document that talks about maybe the League of Nations, and I know that treaty was rejected by the US Senate, I would write on the side of the document, Senate rejects. So when I'm writing about that on a U.S. history exam and I say, look, if we take a look at the Treaty of Versailles, we can clearly see Woodrow Wilson's dream of the League of Nations and Europe adopting the League of Nations, i.e., unfortunately, when that treaty was put in front of the Senate, according to checks and balances of the U.S. Constitution, it was clearly rejected. OI jelly! Touchdown! That's the formula, guys. That's the formula. So I want you to brainstorm and I want you to write jelly on the side of your documents, as much outside information as you can. Technically, if you have one decent, use of OI, we might be able to get you to a 3. And remember, out of a 5, a 3 is a 60. It's a D minus. I want you to get 4s and 5s. I want you to use lots of jelly. But no jelly, no pass, no pass, no graduate, no graduate. Sad face. All right, there you go. So we're going to do one more with you, and then we're going to leave you on your own because you got a test to take. It's not just what's on the inside that counts. Appearances matter. So I can't give you a million writing strategies. There's probably other videos for that. But I will tell you in a general format, if you can do a few things. If you can start with topic sentences. So, if the dot says, for instance, talk about the negatives, another dot says talk about the positives, that's really easy to do. You're going to put all of the negative documents in a paragraph. And you're going to start that paragraph by stating the dot. Let's first take a look at some of the negative aspects of industrialization. And then you can go through your formula, right? One document which clearly expresses sight. We can see in the quote, let me explain, jelly. And then go to the next document that's negative. Doing that kind of, theme or dot-orientated essay is not a laundry list. It's not scripted. You put it together and you get credit for that. If it doesn't look like at least 4 paragraphs, just go home. So make sure you have an opening that is more than 3 or 4 sentences. Same thing with an evaluation paragraph at the end. And I can't go too far into that, but I would say that length counts, thematic sentences count, format counts. So there you go, guys, all right? I can't write this essay for you, but I'm hoping if you learn those 5 things, and let's say them out loud, that it's not about the documents, right? Dots or die trying, that you are going to use those documents by citing and explaining and quoting. You're going to make sure you have jelly or you're going to die trying. and you're gonna pay attention to format, and you're gonna try to make this look like a decent length essay, I think that you should get 4s. Maybe some of you out there will get 5s. But if you fall to a 3, you can pass your test. If you fall to a 2, I don't know what you're gonna do. All right, I don't want to shout, and I don't like sauerkraut. I don't even like the bout, but Mr. HipHughes is out. See you guys.